Hello guys, and welcome to your 7th tutorial. In this tutorial we will be learning about text boxes and a little bit of functions that go with text boxes. What I did was I created a new program and I named it text boxes. You can just follow along, you don't have to create this, it's pretty simple. And what I did is I created two text boxes, and what I did to do that is I went up into Toolbox and I found it in this list. It should be somewhere down here. You should see text box. All you do is you click it and it should appear on here, and then you can adjust them however you want. And I also created a button and a label, and you'll see what this label is useful for in a minute. I made the font a little bit bigger so you could just see the big answer, but I made the button big just because it looked really cool and there's nothing else on this thing, so it needed to fill up space. Okay, now we're going to go into the code window, but we're going to go into the button calculate. And what this is, we're on the button calculate right now because we're saying whenever you click calculate, do this. And we're going to declare a few variables, and this is going to be dim first number. Well, we're going to actually do int first number, and this is going to be as integer. And we're going to do another one. This will be the second number, as integer. And right here we are going to set when you click the button, we're going to set the integer value to the text box. That's basically saying what's in the text box will be your values for those integers. And how we do that would be int first number, we're going to tab that, and equal to me dot text, or actually I forgot to name my text boxes. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. Text box, the way you name it is you type TEX. That would be the initials for text box, and then you type the name of it. And this is going to be number 1, but we're going to be taking off the ER for short. And then we're going to name, we're not actually going to put any text in this. You can if you want. And we're going to name our second text box to text num2. We're going to go back to the code window. We're going to type it again, text me.text.num1.text. Now this is saying this number, this integer right here, is equal to the text property of number 1. And when you type into this, you're adding on to the text property, and you should be able to edit inside the debugging window. Basically what a text box is you can add information to an integer during runtime. And we're going to do the second number to the second text box, or num2.text. And I think I spelled that wrong. There we go. I'm not really one of those text typers. I don't really type out. I type out all my U's and my laugh out louds. No, I don't type that one out. Anyways, now that we equaled that, they're both now equal to the text boxes. And now let's get kind of a math problem from these two numbers. So we're going to go to, let's make another one, dim int total as integer. And int total is going to equal to int first number plus int second number. And then we're going to display that in our label. And my label would be this right here that I named. What did I name? I named that output. And this is going to equal to int total. And you can, as you can see here, I created an invisible label. That's what we're going to equal int total to. So the total of the first number and the second number added together will show up in this output. And we're going to run this. I'm pretty sure something's going to mess up, but we're going to try this anyways. 20 plus 5. And that should give us 25. Now, that's pretty simple. Next, we're going to be working on how we're going to be working on the val function in text boxes. And what the val function does, it basically converts strings into an integer value. So we're going to test that out. We're going to go dim string, str is the initials for string, and we're going to type um, testing as string. And remember, a string is just a value that is held between two quotation marks that hold like a phrase. It's not exactly a specific value, it's just a phrase basically. And now that we know what that is, we are going to test the val function. And we're going to erase some of these. Actually, we don't need to. But the val, you put it around like this, your text box that you're going to be working with, and we are going to convert. This is basically saying whatever's in the text box, we're going to validate it. And what I mean by validate, you'll see that in just a second. Now we're going to run this program one more time, and I'm going to show you what the val does. So say you typed 100 in the text box, but actually we're going to make this the string testing, and we're going to make actually this the dim string testing 2 as string, and we're going to test both of these. What we're going to do is we're going to add the string that we type in for number string testing, and then we're going to add string testing 2 together, and then we're going to display that in int total, which we're going to run this, and we're going to type 100 and 100. And what that does is it adds the two strings together like that. Now, if we wanted to add this together as a number value, which is what the val function does, we're going to do this. We're going to do val, exit the debug, we're going to do val. We actually don't need this right here because that's not actually where we're displaying. We don't really need that right there. And we're going to put this over here. And you'll see the difference between val in just a second. 100 plus 100. And what this does is it still adds them together, because what it's doing now is it's just adding the strings together like that. But if we wanted to add them separately and make them integer values, we would do it like this. Plus, if it'll type, there we go, plus val string 2. Now we're just going to add these together again, and you should get 200. Now what it does, see, this is a string, but it's the val function converts it into an integer value. Now you're saying, oh, so I can do 101 plus 100, and that's still going to give you 200 because it takes the first integer value and it doesn't actually change words into strings. It just changes strings into numbers that are already numbers. So if you typed 101, you're going to get 0 for this value, because it automatically assumes that this is just a string with no number values when the first number is a string. And if we wanted to add if we added something like 101 or with a number, it's still going to be 0. And that's pretty much all on the val function. And that's pretty much the end of this tutorial, and I will see you in the next tutorial, and goodbye.